Hello, course, bit tall. Hello, hello. Good morning. Are we live? Bit late. Bit later than usual. Bit later than I like to be this morning. Good morning. Come on in. Good to see you. Good to have your company. Is it working? Is it working? I'm not sure. I can't see that it's working. Yes. Give us a sign, Steve. Steve's in the building with you today. Bit of a scramble. Come on in. It's all fine. Is the sound all right? Is the sound on? Volume's on. Batteries are good. Right. Getting in the zone. Oh yeah, there you are. Hello. It's good to have your company. There's a little bit of I had 2 minutes to go and the house is about 100 yards away. So I'm like, have I got time for a cup of tea? Haven't I got time for a cup of tea? And then I fannied around so long and then I thought, yes, I do. So here I am with my brew. It's all good. Owls are in the business. And chill. How are you today? How many glasses does one girl need, eh? How are you? I'll get rid of my keys. How are you? Hey? I woke up this morning agitated. No idea why. I just woke up worried, you know? And at some point Dave said, you've got to turn it round, Barb. You've got to turn it round. And he's so right. You know, you've got to look for the positives, haven't you? And so I got my gratitude head on and I started getting grateful. You know, there's so much to be grateful for, isn't there? There is really. You can be miserable. I can only talk for myself. I can get out of bed and I can be really at odds with the world. That it's all ridiculous and it's sick and it's mad and everybody's mental. Or I can say, thank goodness, my mum and dad are all right, the family's all right, our friends are all right, everybody's safe, we've still got a business to speak of, we haven't folded completely, everything's still ticking along, you know, we're keeping going. So, you know, and you're here every morning at 10 o'clock, good morning, come on in. You see? So it's all about how you see things. Sometimes you wake up and nothing's changed. It's exactly the same as it was yesterday. I had a great day yesterday, you know? And then you wake up and you think it's like you're on a different planet. But you're not. Everything's the same. You just got to just a little bit of adjusting going on. Just need to tweak it a little bit, don't you? And the good news is that we've got our colouring, you know? So there's so much to be grateful for, really. There is. I believe it. I'm not just saying it. I'm not just faking it to make it now. I know that I've got a lot to be grateful for. You know, my Gracie, she did a brilliant blog yesterday, all about gratitude actually. We've got two blogs. We've got Barbara Gray blog, that's me. And then we've also got the Clarity Matters blog. And Grace, she's really active on that from New York. But she did an amazing blog yesterday. So do look it up later. Clarity Matters blog. It's great. She's so good. Now, let's have a look. It's 10 o'clock and the sound is good and you're here. The important people are here today. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft, which is what we're doing, isn't it? So let's chill and then we'll crack on. This week we've been doing the owls and I'm blown away by the quality of your colouring on Clarity Worldwide. For those of you who are new to our merry band of creatives here in the SHAC, a lot of our friends, they post their artwork, their progress on Clarity Worldwide, which is a Facebook page. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see the skills, you know. We've been at this. This is 15th week now. 15 weeks. Good though, isn't it? Good though. Right, let me decide. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which ones are the cleanest ones? They're all vile. No wonder I can't see anything. Right, these are the postcards that we're using. And we're on the owls. If you want to get really adventurous, we've got a big colouring book. Really lovely. Most of this artwork is Mel Turner's, our friend Mel's. And what are we using to colour in? We're using polychromos and pergoliners. And I put together a set of little 12 pencils, didn't I? They should be trickling through now. Again, I can only apologise. We had this conversation yesterday. But we're going to crack on anyway. Okay? And let's have a look where we... Look, I've got loads of them. To be sure, to be sure. Let's have a look. What's the time? It's early days. Come on, Barbara. Calm down. Bit manic. Do you get like that sometimes? I'm only human, you know. It's the way it is, isn't it? It's just a little bit off kilter, you know. It's funny, isn't it? Yesterday I went to pottery, and in the afternoon, and I chased there. So this is never a good start, is it? When you're already running, and then it didn't go that well. It didn't go that well. It was poxy, really. And I tried. Potsy. It was potsy. And I was trying so hard, but my head was here and work, and it wasn't with the pots, you see. And so I dropped a pot, you know. And in the evening, this is so funny, I was talking to my dad. My parents in the evening on the phone. I called them, and I said, Dad said, how did your day go? Oh, you know, not bad, Dad. It's all right. Went to pottery. Oh, did you enjoy it? I said, yeah. I said, I dropped a pot. He said, did you? I said, yeah, I did. He said, is that a new technique? I said, what? He said, well, he said, I know you throw the pots, don't you? And I said, and I turn them. I said, that's right. He said, and drop a pot, is that a... I said, no, Dad. I dropped the pot, it hit the deck, it came out of my hands and it launched. And then we started laughing. And he thought it was just new terminology, you know. You throw the pots, you turn the pots, you drop the pots. Yeah, I dropped the pot as well. So funny, really. Oh, dear. So there you go. I've introduced a new technique to pottery. You can drop them too. Right, come on. Today, let's have a look where we've been and where we're at. So we've done our 3 owls. Still need to add a little bit of depth. But I ran out of time. It's because I was doing these owls that I ran out of time at 10 o'clock for my tea. Right, but today what we want to do is concentrate on the trees. See, these look like tubes, but they won't by the time we're finished. You see, we're going to do the leaves. Let's have a look. And we're going to do the trunks. See, and then with a little bit of shading and a little bit of colouring, we'll turn them into proper branches rather than tubes. These are just, but you can see what I was talking about, Mel being a cartographer, a map drawer, can't you? You can see here the motorways going. So, which colours are we going to use? Are you all in? Are you happy? Everybody in? Comfortable? Got your tea? Come on then, let's get started. So you're the only people I really talk to apart from parents and Dave. It's all right though. It's good. Let's have a look at the colours we're going to use. Let's have a look what I've got going on here. I decided to keep it simple and just go with all the warm greys. You know, because we've got cold greys and warm greys, haven't we? So I thought, if you've got any warm greys, Look, I've got Dick Van Dyke Brown. I've got 180. That's that raw umber. Then I've got a nice green there. What's that one called? Yellowish. That's pathetic. All right, earth green, yellowish. I mean, seriously, I'm going to have to call them. That one's 168. Then we've got warm grey 5, warm grey 4, warm grey 2, ivory, and cream. There you go. That's what I'm going to head for. And Steve Ellen, you're in the building today, aren't you, love? So there's your answers when our friends ask you what colours I'm using. Greys and browns, a green and a yellow, a creamy colour. Okay. So a couple of little tricks. Some of these tricks, we've already done this before. I thought we'd start with the leaves. And so what we want, if you're using the pergoliners, get a nice yellow, because you've got a lovely yellow, a blending yellow. A B pencil yellow is what you're after. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll take a yellow, and in the pergoliners there's a fabulous olive green. I can't remember which colour, what number it is, but there's a really nice olive green. So these are the two that we're after, right? A creamy colour or a yellow and a nice green. You pick it, you decide. It's your art. This is what I'm using. There you go. Let's say that. And what I want to show you today, this is the technique that I want to show you. And we've touched on this before. It's about taking a leaf and then adding shade so that the leaf has got depth or structure. So you can add shade here. Hang on. You can add shade down that centre there, which makes it look like that's in. You see, so the light's coming from here, isn't it? And the curve of the leaf means that the shade is there and here. Do you see? So it's here, and on this one it's there. But sometimes, if for example you could put shade at the top and at the tip, and then the curve is more like that. It's more this way rather than that way. Do you see? So you've got so many different. This one's curled right in front of the branch, for example. So there's a lot more depth here, shading here, and maybe a little bit at the top like that. See? So, and the other thing is, if you do it and you think, I'm not sure about the shading that I've given this, then in comes your rubber, your eraser. That will always help you out. You know, that's your get out card, isn't it? Just take the colour away and then we'll start again. Are you sitting comfortably? I'll be ready to start. Let me just sort out this. Right, let's have a look. You all right? Come on then. I'll tell you what's not great is the weather as well, because it's... Did you get headaches? I get really bad headaches, and I think it's the pressure. The pressure's changing all the time. Let's have a look. I'm going to lean on this as well. I dropped some tea on this earlier. Golly. Drop the pot, drop the tea. What's going on, Gray? Right, let's take a light yellow. And what we're going to do is go really, really lightly. Like, bear in mind, if you press hard, then what you'll do is you'll create a block. And actually, when we do the branch and the trunks, we will do that. We'll use a white or a cream to make blocks. They act as a resist. Remember when we did the silver birches? We're going to do that. So what we want to do this time is, rather than create a block, we're just going to create a really light undercoat. There you go. Let's just do all the leaves. Yeah, come on. Let's just go around all the leaves. And I'm literally just gliding over the paper, over the card. This is just easy, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. Circular motions, and we're just gonna add a little bit of colour. Cool, she looks beady, doesn't she? Sitting comfortably. I think you're enjoying these owls. Looking at the Clarity Worldwide page, I would say that you're definitely enjoying the owls. It's that sense of achievement, isn't it? When a lot of you, I can feel it. You're thinking, I didn't think I'd be able to do this. And then when you actually break it down, it's not hard at all, is it? Just demystifying things, really. That's all we're doing, isn't it? When you break it down into sort of a sequence or a chronological order, it's not that hard. I don't think, anyway. Well, I've always said, if I can do it, then you can do it. And you see what I mean now. I know you used to think, she's only saying that, so we'll buy it. It's not rubbish. That's not true. And the other thing is, it's like how Elizabeth says, the more you do it, the better you get. And the better you get, the more you want to do. Isn't it? So we've got our really nice light undercoat now. That's cool. Are we getting relaxed again? Are we getting in the zone? Yeah? I think so. There. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, that'll do. Got your colours in? Can always add a little bit more afterwards of that creamy colour. But I think it's a very nice colour, you see? When you add the olive greeny colour over the top, the yellowish green as they call it, over the top, or that olive green in the other set's really nice too. I mean, we're going quite traditional here, aren't we? You know, we're green, leafy green, owls are trad. Let me show you a piece of artwork while you're catching up. Let me show you a piece of, look at this. There's something different. And this is actually the bookmarks, because we've got bookmarks as well, you know. Isn't that a nice bookmark? Look, see? So the bookmarks come with little bookmark sleeves as well. And again, it's the same artwork, but here, all I've done is, look, not trad at all. All I've done is coloured in, you can see the old grey pencil, can't you? Like, really modern. It's cool, I love this. And then I've used a bit of pink. See, I've gone in with some really nice pink, haven't I? Like a rose pink, this is. And then, you know, I've taken, you know that lace trick with the gel press? I've just squished the lace over the top with the jelly plate, haven't I? But doesn't that look sharp? It's very, very arty, you know? So whilst we're working really traditionally here, the artwork's got so many different options. Check out the postcards as well. They make great artwork, great art toppers, you know? Now let's have a look. Let's go back to the leaves now. Let's start with the little ones here. And have you got a little bit of card just to check what you're doing? Right. It's a right catchy tune, that, isn't it? Right, let's have a look. So let's decide on this one. Let's light feathery strokes, right, from here. And let's concentrate. Let's just do a couple of leaves, really. Let's do these ones, learning the technique, and then we can relax and do all of them, you know? So here, for example, let's just light feathery strokes, always from that tip, and then flick out. See? And I'm not even pressing harder, just going over the same area. And the longer you do that, see how you get a really nice depth? And then with this one, what I want to do, let's do the simple thing first. Then I'll go, so I've gone to the base and I've gone up, right? And then I'll go to the tip and I'll come down. Really lightly, but I'm not going to join it. That's it. There. So what we're doing is, right, it's quite a sharp pencil, but you can see what that does is it makes it look as if it's curling. Then we can go even a little bit darker there. Right, and it looks as if it's curling like that, doesn't it? So by comparison, right, if you feel this is too dark, let's just spend 5 minutes getting this right, and then you're off, then you can do all of them, right? Or you may think, right, well, I overcooked, that green's too much, so we'll take that green out at the top. So you might think that looks better. Personally, I do too, right? And then maybe I'll go in with a bit more yellow over the top. That'll do. Like it. Now let's take this one. Right, so we've got the yellow undercoat. Or did I rub it out? Let's just put a bit more in. Right, different options of colouring in. Now this time, let's pretend that the light is coming this way. Okay, so it's the opposite of what you think you're going to do. You would think that you're going to put the shade on this side. Let's put the shade on the upper side. Let's put the shade on the top of the line. There and there. Right? So now we've got shade there and we've got shade along there. And you'll see immediately, look, can you see the optical illusion? By putting the shade there on that side of the line and underneath, you see how it really looks like the light is hitting it there? Can you see that okay? I don't know if I can get in any tighter. I wonder if let's have a look at our static camera, because this is, oh, beady eyes. Right, let's just go in here and see if you could, yeah, that's better. Now, do you see how, I know this is a bit pedantic, but once we get these three or four leaves done, then we're off and running, because there's different options. So this one, we shaded at the bottom, didn't we? Right, hang on. Hold it steady. And then here, I've shaded underneath. No, sorry, hang on a minute. I've shaded on top of the line and then right underneath. So you see how it looks? See how it looks like the light is hitting? Yeah? It's the opposite of what you think you should do. You think you should just do the lower half of the leaf, don't you? But, actually, this is much better. Yeah, you see it from a distance, you get it, don't you? So let's say now, this one here, let's have a look. So now decide in your head, where's the light hitting? You decide rather than me tell you. If the light's coming from here, same light, say he is the light source. This little fella here, that's the moon. So the light's coming from there, and then that will help you. So if the light's coming from there, then where do you think, just have a little think for a minute, where would you put it while I have a little sip of tea? You have a little think where you would put the green on here, and then see if you were right. Come on. You have a little look. And don't ask Steve, because he won't know. Well, he might do if he's listening. Right, let's see if you're right. So, if this was the light coming from here, then I would be tempted, right, to put the shade here on the top of that, same as this one. I'd put it here. See if you get it. Did you get it as well? So a little bit in there, and then underneath here. That's where I would put it, there. So it's along the top and then underneath. And probably a bit more from that end. There. See? What do you think? Do you get it? So once you figure this out, you have to do it a few times, but once you figure this trick out, that the light is on where the light's coming from, your leaves are just dynamite. We had a little bit of this when we did the nuthatches, I think. So, right, now the light's coming from this side, and this one's curling over. So I reckon that this would be darker down here, don't you? I reckon this would be the darker area here, because the light's coming from the top. But I reckon it might come round there a little bit. Let's have a look. Like that. And the good thing about this is, yeah, that's definitely right. The good thing about this is, if you look at it and you think, that looks a bit weird, then enter the eraser. Eh? Nice. So now we've done that, now we can start, can't we? Because we've had our little lesson on these four, and now we can relax. Eh? What do you think? I reckon this will be easy. And it shouldn't take too long. You just got to think all the time. So where should we start? Should we start at the top and work our way down? I think so. But the idea is that the centre owl is the light source. Let's say the light is emanating from him in the middle. Have you thought of any names for our fellas yet? Have we thought of any names yet for our Parliament of Owls? On the subject of Parliament of Owls, Linda Williams, this is cool. You know, we're on the telly on Saturday, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. The 1 o'clock show, the one in the middle, that's my job. I've got to do, it's the SHAC stamps and that's that one. But the 11 o'clock and the 3 o'clock, the sandwich shows, they are to do with owls. And so Linda Williams has actually recorded, she did it at home, she's recorded a how-to, and it's brilliant, and we're putting it on the 11 o'clock show on her channel. So that's brilliant news that Linda, you've got the job, Linda. Now we know you know how to do it. There's no excuse. Yeah, so on Saturday, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock, we're having a hoot with all the owls and parchment and stamps and all sorts. But then at the 1 o'clock show, that's the SHAC show. So that'll be cool. And I've still got to prepare that yet. Be fine. Right, so let's get started. And I'm gonna start over here, I think. I'll start over here. Let's have a go. And we'll do a few of these. So if that's the light coming from there, then I'm going to come, that's going to go in there like so. Right, there you go. You have to concentrate a little bit actually, don't you, when you're doing this? So you could actually just, maybe if you want to go into mass production, see, it's up to you, isn't it? The question is, do you do each leaf beautifully? Or do you do it roughly like that and then go back afterwards and make it all perfect? So you know that the light's in the right, that you've put the shade in the right place. It's like drop shadows, isn't it? If you're doing lettering or something and then you want to add a drop shadow, like a shadow underneath the lettering along a whole word. It has to be all the way, has to be right all the way, otherwise it looks weird. Yeah, you can definitely see that this is right. There we are. Relaxing. And also, so if this, like that's it there, that goes in there like that, and then round the outside. Yeah, sure. We can always go back and add a little bit of depth, can't we, afterwards? Eh? Let's do this side, and then what we could do is have a go at the trunk, so that way, yeah, we don't end up doing all the leaves, and then afterwards thinking, oh, ran out of time to do the trunk. Eh? See, the other thing is on the big leaves, sorry, am I fiddling? On the big leaves, if you wanted to, you could add veins, couldn't you? So let's have a look. If you really subtly, like, I mean, seriously, not great big lines, but just little flicks. Let's have a look if that looks all right. So you might think, oh no, I've spoilt it. Oh, I don't know. Do you see what I mean? So up that side, you could always just, as you're coming down this edge, just add a little flick. You know, that looks all right. It's up to you. It's your art. Yeah, that looks quite good, doesn't it? Okay. Let's just do these and then we'll... So I want to see what it looks like. Yeah, okay. So on the top of the line, a lot of this trick has to do with repetition. Once you've done it a few times, you get into the hang of it then. You get the optical illusion, don't you? Here we go. Bit of a flick in the corner. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Hey? Cool, I tell you what, it does chill me out. I can go from really anxious to not anxious very quickly. So let's just see what happens now with this leaf. Let's say I add a little bit of shadow under, because it's on top of the... Just see... Cool, yeah. Doesn't that look better? The leaves that are over the top of the owls. Just add, what one am I using? I know you're going to ask me. Warm grey 4. I parked all the cold greys and I thought I'll stick to warms for the branches and the leaves. See if that looks good if we do that. I bet it does. Hey, doesn't that look nice? Hey, just a little bit of shadow. See, my owls are quite light still, aren't they? So that works well. And then, if I want to, I can get just really there. See, nice. Okay, and then where's me creamy one? Just finish this one off, see what we can do. See, then I can add a little bit of that creamy yellowy colour. There. Don't they look nice? Oh, I can't wait to see what you do. See, there are no experts in this building. I've said it 1,000 times. I must have done by now. There are certainly no experts in this little building, in this shack. And I think we've all figured out now that it's a real freeing once you decide that once you decide, now where's the light going to be here? Right, so this is darker here. That it's not a competition and nobody's judging your artwork. Haven't you found that once you let that go, you shed that weight of being judged and people giving an opinion? Don't you feel that it's a far more positive, and also what I find is that I got a lot better once I gave up worrying about what people think. You know? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think of your artwork. It's what you think of your artwork. Nobody's judging you. It's not that your artwork's better than somebody else's, or, you know. Of course there are going to be really good artists out there. There are people out there that do this for a living and they're in this group, you know. And in fact, the pressure's on them more than it is on other people. They feel they've really got to deliver because they do it for a living. If you're a paid artist, they get the pressure on that poor person. Like me. You see, there's the difference. I'm not fussed. I really am not. I don't see myself as the expert. I just see myself as the shepherder here. I'm the one that just delivers. I'm the bus driver. I deliver the tricks and tips, and then you're on your own. And I think that works quite well, don't you? Now let me have a think. Light's coming through here, so this is going to be darker on that side there, I think. Could actually be on both sides, couldn't it? Let's have a look. This one, maybe it's more of this job, because it's underneath him perhaps. So you see, you just put it in there, and maybe a little bit like that. Yeah, actually, right up the middle. It's hitting that way, see? So you just... Cool, eh? Yeah. Maybe a bit more defined on the veins, grey. Yeah, nice. Okay. That'll do. I still haven't decided what to do with the tail feathers yet. Okay, so we got that one sorted as well. Actually, I think I like a bit of veins in that side. And then once we've done this, are you ready to try the branch? Yeah, that's actually quite right, isn't it? It's darker around there. Yeah, because this is a bit further back. See, and then you can go in, and if you want to add a bit of real depth, just take the same colour. I'd just take the same colour. Good, eh? Right, let's have a look at this. How are you doing? You all right with all this? Let's do this great big long one here, this motorway here that Mel drew, right? And let's have a look what I did, and I'll show you a couple of little tricks. Because this isn't finished yet. This isn't finished. I've still got to rough up the outer edge because it looks a little bit too much like a tube. But I can do that, right, by, look, you just go along the line and you hide it. There you go. So you take your darker colours. Look, see this edge here that's really smooth? All I'm doing now is going along and changing it. Look. So now you'll see it doesn't look smooth like that. You're hiding the line up. Let me put my Dame Edna's on. I might have more luck now. Oh yeah, that's better. It took me 25 minutes to figure it out. There you go. See, and then as soon as you go along and you change that edge, but we'll do that right at the end. That's my point, you see, because then you're going to come along here. And of course, this is very dimensional, isn't it? So we want to get the right on the edge now. And you'll see as I come along now, see how it's changing that edge there. And I'm getting right in underneath, look. So you literally are getting in with a dark colour and you're going along. But look at the difference between that there and that there. And you've just seen me do that. All I did was take a pencil and just, but right at the end. Let's have a look at that really up tight. It's not great yet because I haven't finished it. I've got to tone these colours in a little bit. Look, I'll show you. Just tone it in a little bit more. But I just wanted to show you, it's not, this is quite rough. It is a tree trunk. So if we look here, let's see if we can see this. Right, let me hold this down so you can see it. Right, so look at that edge there, quite smooth, bit tubular, yeah? And you saw what I did by roughing up the tree with a darker colour along there. Now you may like the tubular look, but if you want to make it look more like a tree trunk and less like a really super smooth, mind you, there's trees out there that are that super smooth, but you know, somewhere in between, that's what I'm talking about. That's the trick, isn't it? Is to get that lovely granular, like gritty look, okay? So the first thing we want to do, let's have a look here. The first thing I'm suggesting is, if you've got like the pergoliners, get you white, or if you've got that new set of 12, the ivory would be good for this, or even a yellow, anything that's light. That's what we're after. And if you, for example, if you take I'm going to use the ivory one. If I take the ivory and I add like scribbles, random scribbles through the, like stripes, a little bit of this here and there, right, just all the way along through there. And what you'll see is when you do this, right, so actually you can't see it, but there are random scribbles, aren't there, all the way through. And then play it safe. Here we go again. Take your light grey, my favourite one, warm grey 2. And what we want to do is just get the flat of the warm grey 2 going. I'm just making it flat so it's soft. And then what we'll do is, as you go in over the top of this, what you'll see, just lightly go over the top, just in one area. Let's just do one area so you get it. Like here. Let's just do this area here. And then what you'll see is, as you go over it, the creamy colour, well, it's almost like it's acts as a block. Because we press quite hard, yeah? That's what makes the difference. So I know there's a lot of theory going on here, but it's enough. It'll look good when it's done. So I've taken that grey. Let's add another colour. Let's go to a slightly darker grey. So we're going to go grey, darkest grey. So now let's go to a warm grey 4 or a lighter grey. And this time, this is the point. Let's just see. If this is, let's just show you the theory, right? If that's the outside edge, right? So we've done our scratching bit. I've used yellow instead of ivory, but you get the picture. So you go like that, right? So you've got your scratchy bit. Then you take your light grey and you cover the whole thing with a light grey, like that, say, right? Then when you've done that area, then the next thing is to take the next grey down, not the darkest grey, but this time you're just going to do along this edge there, like so, and this edge here. And you'll see that the cream, it starts to resist even more. The darker this gets, look, if I press over the top of it, you'll see. So now I've got this edge here, right? Okay, so we've done that edge there, and I can press harder. If I've only got one grey, listen, if I've only got an HB pencil, lightly, then a little bit darker, and then as you get closer to this edge, look, you just press harder. All right, and this is where we're going to change the colours up a little bit and add a little bit of scarring on the trunk. See how we can do this? So I'm just using the one colour to get that. See, and then you come across, you cut across, and you do some. But the point I'm making is that what you do is then if you want to, you go in with the absolute darkest one and you cut right across this line here. And then this is the one, look, you go in, and this is where I'm chiseling in a little bit and breaking down that line. See? And then you just feather out, and that's what gives you, so you stay even closer to the edge, and that's what gives you that 3D look. That's how you get depth. Now we're going in and over the top. Right, just sort of show you on a bit of scrap. So you see how you get that. You see? So then this bit, and then it's just a question of marrying up. So now you just want to make it look less stripy. And that's a question then of just going in with this one, going in with different greys to tone the colours in. Watch how it moves it. I'm taking that soft grey and I'm going in over the top. See? And then suddenly you've got a really nice branch. And then if you want to, and this is what we'll do in a minute, we can go in with some browns. We can add a little bit of colour like that. There you go. Then you're adding your scarring and what have you. And if you feel you've overcooked it, then you know what to do. Just go in and lift some of the colour out again. So, but you can see how that yellow, see, how it really acts as a resist. So that's the theory. We've done the cream ivory, we've done this colour over the top, and now we're going in for the edges. So we'll take a lighter grey, We'll take the next lightest one down and we'll stay close to the edge. Right, so we'll go along here. Excuse my head. Go along there. Don't have to be too exact with this because this is definitely a tree trunk. It's gritty, right, underneath his foot. And then on this side as well. And you'll see where you've added that sort of scarring with the light pencil. See? Clever, isn't it? I do love these pencils, but you'll get the same effect, exactly the same effect, with the pergoliners, you know. They work in the same way. They're oil-based as well. Right, and then if you want to build up the layers, look, let's take this area here, right, and let's say I want to make that darker here, right. So what I'm going to do is just take this pencil and just keep going in the same area. Now let's flick up like that. I want to create an indent. See? So I go like that, sort of hatching across. I can get it really dark. There. See? So you've got a bit of grey and you've got, let's take the darkest grey. And this time I'm going to stay even closer to the edge. Watch how that, see? And this is the one where I'm going to literally hide the line art from the colouring book or the postcard. So now this is going to be really rough, like a tree would be. So that goes in like so. You almost hold your pencil up a bit higher to get in on that gritty, see? And that's how you can get a really effective, there you go. It's all right to be a little bit rough and ready with the branch, because it is a little bit rough and ready. And you can make it as gritty or as dark or as light. You know, you've got to decide if the light's hitting it, where it's hitting it. So it's going to go along there, I think. Yeah. If you take a bit of brown as well, that will just lightly, even though this is a dark brown. What's this one? This is the Van Dyke 176. So if you wanted to make this a little bit darker, you could just very lightly go over the top. Look. And it just takes out all the whiteness, all the lightness. But it doesn't eliminate. That's pretty cool. And wherever you want a little bit of depth, just press a bit harder. See? You want a bit of scarring? Add a bit of scarring. And if you don't like what you've done, then you know the answer. You just take your rubber and you take it straight out again. Just take it back. You can start again. Okay? So this is it really. It's just a question of layering up and then taking back. Let's have a look at that little tree trunk, because he looks a little bit phallic really, doesn't it, with a sprig hanging out of it. Let's just change this, and I'll show you how you can. So you're almost not touching the paper, the card. What am I using here? Just the lightest grey, the warm grey 4, right? So we'll just go in here. Let's have a look. This is the sort of thing that you just want to take your pencils and you just start going backwards and forwards. So you've got your warm grey 2, which is just that undercoat. So you're going to see the resist here. Let's just get this sorted out so you can see the resist. Right, so we've got our resist down with the, when I say resist, I mean that cream in the background, that ivory. Right, that already looks better. Now I'm going to take this grey and I'm going to just start adding a bit of interest. This is obviously going to have that shadow behind it, isn't it? Like we did up here with the leaves. So that, don't forget that that's going to create a little bit of depth as well. Right, so let's just get that in. So we know what we're dealing with. Drop shadow. Right, drop shadow. Cool. Right, now let's make this a little bit more natural looking. Let me take that darker grey now. And now we're going to add a little bit of to that top area. And then this piece here, you know how you can add a, there you go, this is starting to look better. Just a little triangle of depth. You see that? Just tackle each area. There, that looks better already. Right, there you go. And it's good when you press hard, you can see suddenly it just goes pop. Right, there you go. And then in this area here, so this comes down like so. So let's concentrate on the bit behind. So I'm going to always play it safe, use my lighter grey first. And if you've only got one grey, just don't press so hard. See, so I'm going to come down there like so. Flick away from that line art. So we haven't done this part of the branch at all yet, have we? There we are. See how it's coming together? It's layering up. It's good, isn't it? So, just a few tricks and tips really. Look, nice. And then if you want to take it to the next level of depth, go gently. There you are. Cool. Cool, I could get lost in this. Do you as well? I find this so relaxing. There's nothing quite like it. And it is a skill set for sure. You definitely can get better at this. There we are. So you can see how the cream in the background, that ivory in the background, or the white, how that will give you a resist. So it blocks whatever you put in front of it. And then, look, sometimes in a certain area like that, don't add anything. Just leave it light. So that's where the light's hitting it. Although the bottom part needs to have a little bit of extra. What do you think? Nice, eh? Just keep that going like that. Yeah. So now you know the rest of the story. How to get that lovely gritty bark. Okay? Do you remember when we did the silver birch? This is a similar technique, isn't it? Except that it's not a silver birch, we're going darker on this. And it's just greys and browns. And you can pick your colours and you can pick your depth, how dark you want that to be. See? How yellow or dark or black or bold. And when we look here, right, if you take your cream colour and you add it on all of these, just really randomly, like this. You don't have to, this is just, remember to do it, because if you forget, you can't go back and do it. Not easily anyway. You have to rub it all out. So we'll just get our branches, establish where they are, hey? And then tomorrow, when we get back together again, yeah, that's a good idea. Just make sure you know where the branches are. You've got to do that one, that one, that one, and that one. Right, so there's two here. There's another one there. This one goes all the way through there. Right, then we've got the tail feathers. I've got to sort the tail feathers out, Grey. And then tomorrow we can sort the fields out and the sky and the trees. Actually, we could do the trees now. We've still got time. I mean, I was backwards and forwards on the trees, but I liked what I came up with in the end. And this is what I did. Going back to, let's say, the leaves, just to finish this off, if I were to take that yellow again, right, and I just added the cream, not the ivory, just a yellow, like that. That's the start. And then I took my green, the same green as I had for the leaves, and then small circular motions like this, just to add a little bit of green. And you'll see that there is a little bit of resist because you've added that colour. So it makes the green a little grittier, which is not a bad thing on a tree. See? So it's not super smooth because of the undercoat, unless I press hard, and then I can smooth it out. Right? So I've got that colour now. And then what I did, once I'd done that, I thought, oh, it looks a bit smooth. So then I did this. I did what we did yesterday with the green. And so that I stayed within the tree, remember I said yesterday, hold it down as tight as you can to the nib. You've got so much more control of where you go. Right, I'm holding it at a little bit of an angle so you can see this. But what it's doing really is it's giving us a little bit of texture. See? You could do that, name that tune, couldn't you? And then we'll take a yellow one. I wonder if I want to use a darker yellow. Yeah, I do. How about that ochre? That's lovely, that dark Naples ochre. Just a dark yellow, really. It'll do the job, right? Yeah. And then we'll just add a bit of... And now we're going inside those holes, those white bits. I mean, you could put blue through there, couldn't you, and pretend it was the sky popping through, but that'd be a hell of a tree, wouldn't it? You'd have to call out a tree surgeon if the sky were... I don't think that would look quite right. So what we'll do is we'll just use it as a part of the... Yeah? I think. And it's just a question of adding some depth. And then when you go around the outside, watch. It's great. Add a little bit more depth. See, the thing is, we're looking at the detail, aren't we? We're looking at the minutiae. But what we'll do in the end is we'll look at the overall picture. Nobody's going to notice how you coloured in the tree. That's not going to be of great interest. What they're going to look at is the overall impression of that, the artwork. So, for example, a little bit of grey in there, a little bit of brown, the trunk. Be good. A little bit of grey, a little bit of depth. I wonder if you could do a bit of that as well. Yeah, that looks quite good. Just a bit of depth. It adds more. Yeah, you know what? That looks quite good. Keep it down the bottom. Yeah. There you go. And when we go round that with a light blue, it look glorious. You see? So that's quite good. And when you go in close, it looks like rubbish. But we're not going in close. Are we? It's just an overall impression that we're giving. So enjoy that. You decide what you want to do with that. Hey? You decide what you're going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of depth there. Yeah, like it. Cool. Okay. So we've done the leaves. We've done the branch. I'm going to finish mine off as well. This will be my homework too. I'd like you to do the trees and the rest of the branches if you have a chance. And then tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll do this field and then we'll do the sky in the background. And that will be quite a good technique, I think, to get under our belt Don't you? I think that would be good. Yes. Can you believe that we've been doing this for an hour again? An hour. It's amazing, isn't it, how quickly it goes? A whole hour. But it's enjoyable, it's informative, it's safe, and it's creative. There you go. So tomorrow, like I say, we'll complete this because it's Friday already. Friday already. Blimey. Where did this week go again? Eh? Have you been out at all? I don't think I've left the house at all this week. I haven't. Oh, except to go to pottery and drop a pot. I dropped a lid as well to keep the pot company. Don't know what was going on yesterday. Spent ages making a lid, and then I said to my mate, my buddy, I said, Marilyn, I'm not convinced that this lid, I'm not in love with it. And then no sooner had I said that than it slipped out my hand and hit the deck. So that sorted that out. Clearly, a higher power agreed with me and thought, just in case you waste any more of your life that you'll never get back, fiddling around with this pot, this lid to the pot, let's drop it, as my dad says. New technique. Steve, thank you very much for your help. Thank you for joining me. I'm here to keep you company. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you tomorrow to complete the owls. And then we'll have a celebration, won't we? Okay? So I'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.